Hello, my dear students. I hope you all have been doing well. Today we are discussing about prodrugs. Here I take an example of a prodrug, that is levodopa, and we will discuss. This is just an example to make this presentation interesting for you, but we will further in further slides we will discuss about this prodrug, that is levodopa. So first, before understanding about the prodrug, we have to understand that what is a drug. A drug is a chemical or a molecule that is biologically active, or that can bring a change in a physiological system due to its chemical nature. There are many types of drugs, and drugs are classified on the basis of their structure. For example, if they are steroid in nature or peptide in nature, like fusidic acid, it is a steroid drug, and they may be classified on the basis of their pharmacological effect, like diuretic, antidiuretic agent, or hypnotic, uh, or the drug that produce hypnosis. And they may be classified on the basis of their action on the biological system of the body. For example, antipsychotic drug. So these are the examples and the definition of drugs. What are drugs? So now you have understand the what are drugs. Drug is a chemical or a biologically active molecule that can bring a change in a physiological system due to its chemical nature. But now we have to see that what are these prodrugs. Actually, prodrugs are pharmacologically or biologically inactive or inert form of a drug. Means the prodrug is that form of a drug that cannot bring any physiological change in a biological system until and unless it will convert into a drug at the target site. So now you understand that what is a drug and what is a prodrug. What is the difference between drug and prodrug? A drug is already an active ingredient that can bring a change in biological system due to its chemical nature. However, a prodrug is an inactive or inert form of a drug that should have to be converted into an active form before delivering or before displaying its action in the biological system, or before displaying its pharmacological action in the biological system. So why question is this, why we make or we formulated drug as a prodrug form, or why we need a drug in its prodrug form. So there are many reasons, and I am discussing with you here. Um, Sometime the drugs are vulnerable to metabolize. So, and we need that drug in their active form. When drug metabolize, some drugs lost their activity after metabolism. However, some drugs become active after metabolism. So all those drugs that metabolize after metabolism, so we need to administer these type of drug as a prodrug form. So you all know when we take drug in oral dosage form, or as a oral as an oral dose. So what happened? The drug enter in the hepatic circulation before entering in the systematic circulation, and in our liver there are enzymes that metabolize the drug. So drug metabolize before reaching the systematic circulation and before reaching the target site. So after metabolism, some drugs lost their activity, and we need to have their active form of drug. So in this case, all those drugs that metabolize after hepatic during hepatic metabolism, and when we take them in oral dosage form, so and we need to these drugs need to reach the target site in the active form. So such type of drug should will prepared as prodrug form to improve their bioavailability. So you all know about what is the bioavailability. Bioavailability is the fraction of a drug that reaches to the systematic circulation in an unchanged form. So what we do all with all those drugs that should have to reach the target site in an unchanged form. So we will take most of the time such type of drug should be taken in prodrug form, means in pharmacologically inert form. So when they will pass through the hepatic metabolism, they metabolize there. So they most of the drug become active after the metabolism, and then they come to the systematic circulation. Then they reaches to the target site, and they perform their action there. And we take the means we need to have the drug as the prodrug form, or we need to formulate the drug in the prodrug form to improve their selectivity. Means some drugs are have a non-selective nature. Means I in my previous lecture we have well discussed about the receptor and the ligands. And what is a drug? Drug is a form of a ligand for a receptor. Drug is a form of a chemical signal for a receptor. So some drugs are non-selective in nature, means they bind more than um, more means more than one type of receptor, that is unnecessary for a particular biological action. So we need to have such some drug to be selective, means we need to have some drug to we need some drug to display their action in a particular means in a specific way. So we have such type of drug in a prodrug form, and some drugs are display their adverse effects. So for that we from, some drugs display their adverse effect um, in different means unnecessary location. You can say, for example, if we will take any drug, an oral drug, so it is acidic in nature. So if it will remain in our stomach a long period of time, so what it will do, it can cause cancer, or it can damage stomach protective covering or protective epithelial layer. So we do not and this drug should have to pass from stomach to the intestine to perform their action. So in such type of a drug, what we will do, we take a drug in the prodrug form. So it can means it will be in a way, or in with such thinking that drug if drug will remain in our stomach, so it will not means it will remain in inert form in the stomach, and then when it will reach to the intestine, it will metabolize. I hope you know that some drugs are also metabolized in our intestine. So such type of a drug that should have to metabolize intestine, but they should have to pass from the stomach. So we need such type of a drug as a prodrug form, so they can, if they can, stay in the stomach so for longer period of time, and drug is in acidic in nature. So due to its acidity, it cannot damage the stomach protective covering, or when this type of a drug reaches to the intestine, it metabolizes there at the target site in intestine, and then it performs its pharmacological action. So I well describe you here why we should have to take drug, or why we should have to formulate it some drugs in prodrug form. So here we are taking an example, and this example is a prodrug that is a levodopa. So what this is, this levodopa, and what this levodopa is doing here, we are seeing here in our brain there is a region that we call as substantia nigra, and this brain region is rich with all the neurons that are having a neurotransmitter that is dopamine. So what dopamine does, this dopamine is important for our motor function, means for our locomotion. It is important to give us pleasure, and to means have pleasant thoughts. And it is also, this dopamine is also important for our mood. It regulate our mood. Sometimes we are aggressive, sometimes we are in pleasant mood. So all this regulation is done by the dopamine neurotransmitter, and it is also involved in the processing of our memory, and it is also involved in our sleep and cognition. So why I am explaining you a lot of about the dopamine, we will see here. Then we have seen what is the dopamine, where it is reside in the brain, and what it does. So it is a particular neuron that is present in the brain. So what this here, what is happening here, this vesicles have a dopamine store, means dopamine molecule, that is the neurotransmitter. So what will happen when um, a message come here, or action potential reaches to this vesicles. So this dopamine release from the presynaptic neuron to the postsynaptic neuron, uh, from the presynaptic neuron to the synaptic cleft, where in the postsynaptic neuron the receptor of this dopamine, that are D1, D2, D3 and D5, up to 5 receptors. So this dopamine will bind with this receptor, and then this receptor then initiate the intracellular activity, and then this neuron will transform this intracellular activity into the cell response. So I have well defined or described you all this receptor binding with the ligand, and what this receptor do in my previous lecture. You can again listen all this lecture. So what, how dopamine is regulating, I'm sure that you can, um, you have understand here why I did give you the example of the dopamine, and what dopamine do in the brain, does in the brain. Dopamine is present in a specific area of the brain, that is the substantia nigra. And what dopamine, how dopamine is means releasing here, and what it is doing here, it is present in this new vesicles, and then when it is receiving a message, then it is releasing in the synaptic cleft, and then binding with the receptor, and then this, after binding the receptor, dopamine is performing all these work that I explain you here. So what what happened, think what happened when dopamine will uh, deficient, or dopaminergic neuron in the brain will die. Here is means a particular disease due to the dopamine deficiency that we say as Parkinson disease. It is the one example, but there are a lot of means function of the body that are regulated by dopamine, like the motor function and rest. I have described you here. So what will happen if dopamine deficit, or dopamine deplete in our brain? So we will get all these symptoms, means we will not having the good sleep, we will not remember many things, and we will having the cognition problem, we will be having mood swings, so like that. So what we have to do for all these disease means maybe we will be having the Parkinson disease. So what we have to do? We have to take the dopamine from outside our body. So if we will means have dopamine from outside of the body, or together with dopamine, there are a lot of drugs that cannot pass uh, from that cannot enter in our brain. Why? Because our brain neurons that I show here in this picture, see our brain is having a protective covering throughout whole our brain, and this protective covering is set to as blood brain barrier. And this what this blood brain barrier do? This blood brain barrier not allow all the molecules that are coming from the outside of the brain to enter in the extracellular fluid, or to enter inside the brain. So what happened? Actually, this is a selective permeable membrane that selectively allow means that uh, select the molecule which molecule should have to pass from the this layer, or what which molecule should not have to pass from this layer. So especially this blood brain barrier, that is the protective covering of the brain, not allowed polar molecule to enter to pass through this membrane and enter in the brain. So what happened? This dopamine actually is if we will take this dopamine as a drug supplement from outside our body, so what will happen? This dopamine cannot allow to enter this blood-brain barrier. Why? Question is why? Because this dopamine is highly polar in nature, and as this the structure of the dopamine is showing here, it is having two hydroxyl group. And if you listen my previous lecture, I explained in one of my lecture that this hydroxyl group is polar in nature. So if you don't hear, didn't hear the listen my that lecture, so I will explain you here. This dopamine molecule is polar in nature because it is having hydroxyl group in its structure, and these hydroxyl group are polar molecule. So due to this polarity of the dopamine, this blood-brain barrier not allow the dopamine to enter in the brain. So what will happen if dopamine will not enter in the brain, in the condition when we will be having less amount of dopamine in our brain, and we should have to have extracellular cellular supplement, means external supplement of the dopamine. So what will happen? We will we cannot correct our disease, means we cannot prevent the disease, or we cannot cure the disease what we are having. If we are having Parkinson disease, if we are having difficulty in cognition, if we are having difficulty in sleep, so what is the solution of all these things? This is the solution. Scientists take means resolve this problem by making a prodrug of this dopamine, that is the levodopa. This levodopa actually is a prodrug of this dopamine. What is the prodrug? I have explained you in a previous slide that the prodrug is a drug that is a pharmacologically inert form, inactive form, uh, but when we take it, it is pharmacologically inactive. But when it will reach to the site of action, it is metabolized, and it convert into active form, and then it produce its action. So what does scientists do to resolve this problem? They make a a drug that is levodopa, and or and this levodopa uh, is means inert in nature. It is not active form, and it is a precursor of this dopamine. Means what does mean by precursor? Precursor is a drug like a prodrug that can synthesize an actual ingredient, an actual drug. So this is levodopa is a prodrug. It can pass from blood brain barrier. Because of this group, uh, what happened? This group is making COOH group is making this molecule less polar than this dopamine. So what will happen due to the less polarity of levodopa? It will enter into the blood-brain barrier. Here, this drug levodopa metabolize. How it is metabolizing? It decarboxylate here. So this carboxyl group will remove from this drug, and then it convert into the dopamine, the same drug that we were needing in our brain to correct this disease, that was the Parkinson disease, or mood swing and sleep disorder, and like a list of the disease that I have discussed with you in my previous slide. So this is the way, uh, this is the purpose of a prodrug. So I hope you have understand why, what is the prodrug, and why we uh, consume prodrug, or why these prodrugs are necessary, uh, why it is necessary to formulate some drugs in a prodrug form. Now we will see the classification of a prodrug. Prodrugs are classified into two types: type 1 prodrugs and type 2 prodrugs. Type 1 prodrugs are bioactivated inside the cell. Means I have discussed with you how the prodrug bioactivated means prodrug convert into actual ingredient of the drug. So it means that it is bioactivated. When a prodrug metabolize and then convert into drug form, and or the active ingredient form, so we say that it is bioactivated now. So these some prodrugs are metabolized or bioactivated in uh, uh, intracellular or inside the cell, or some so these drugs are the type 1 prodrugs, like for example the antiviral drug, uh, and especially there are various classes of antiviral drug. I hope you know about them, or if you don't know about them, I hope you will study in the pharmacology subject. So some are nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors, some are non-nucleoside reverse transcriptase inhibitors. I don't want to go in the detail, but you should have to understand this, or you should have to remember uh, this, that need to be some antiviral drugs uh, are prodrug, and especially the all the antiviral drugs that based on the nucleoside, and that are nucleoside analogs. What are these nucleosides? These are the DNA or RNA means nucleoside. So some drugs are like the antiviral drug. They are the prodrug. When they enter in this cell, they phosphorylate. Phosphorylation is the post-translational modification. It is the addition of a phosphate group in a substrate. And I have discussed with you this phosphorylation in my previous lecture. I hope you still remember it. So some antiviral drugs are the prodrug, and they are type 1 prodrug. Why they are type 1 prodrug? Because they metabolize in intracellular inside the cell. And some lipid lowering drug, for example statins is the class of lipid lowering drug. They are also type 1 prodrug. Or why these are type 1 prodrug? Because they metabolize or bioactivated or get activated inside the cell before performing their actual means before performing their pharmacological effect. So some prodrugs are type 2 prodrug. Why these are type 2 prodrug? Because they are bioactivated outside the cell. For example, chemotherapeutic therapeutics or immunotherapeutics. Uh, so here is the mistake of why. So I hope you can understand this. This is immunotherapeutic. So the chemotherapeutic and immunotherapeutic, these are the two classes of drug. I hope you know about that. Chemotherapeutic drug are the drug that used for the treatment of cancer, or most of the immunotherapeutic are also used for the treatment of cancer. So these two type of a drug, pro-drug, uh, these are these two classes of drug are type 2 pro-drug because these bioactivated or become activated or converted from pro-drug into the drug in the extracellular side of the cell. So these type 1 and type 2 pro-drugs are further classified into further subtypes. These two types uh, are having their subtypes. So in next slides, we will see how further classified, how we further classified type 1 and type 2 products. So these are the subtypes of type 1 and type 2 prodrugs. So these type 1 prodrugs are further classified into two subtypes, type A and type B of prodrug, subtype A and subtype B, on the basis whether the target site where these are metabolizing before delivering or displaying their pharmacological action, whether this site is the target site. I hope you are understanding what I am saying. These both type of the drug, type 1 and type 2, further classified into subtypes, and type 1 prodrug is further classified into type A and type B, and this classification is based on whether the drug that is metabolizing, whether the site where these drugs are metabolizing in inside the cell, so whether this site is the site that where the drug should have to perform is should have to display or perform its pharmacological action, or the type 2 drug that metabolize in the extracellular surface side of the cell. So these drugs further classified into three subtypes on the basis whether these drugs that are these prodrugs that are metabolizing or converting into active form of a drug or into the drug, uh, whether these prodrugs are converting from prodrug to drug in the gastrointestinal fluid or in the circulatory system or in the cell or tissue, other cell or tissue. So we are taking here the example of these type A drug, that these are the acyclovir, as this is the nucleoside analog that I have already discussed in my previous slides. And in the type B drug is the uh, all those drugs that are converting into pro-drug into drug form in the liver cell and lungs, and it is well known, means a drug of abuse, heroin. It is a drug of abuse. I hope you know what is the drug of abuse. And captopril, this is also the subtype B of prodrug that metabolize in the inside the cell, and the subtype of type 2 prodrug are sulfasalazine and the benbuterol. This is the B subtype, and the and the rest, the C C subtype are having ADEPs, GDEPs, and VDEPs. So, dear students, this is my one of the research article, and you can also go through this article for further uh, information, and kindly consult with the book that is Medicinal Chemistry by Thomas, and kindly be safe from COVID-19 by using protective measure, not to shake the hand with others, and use the protective gloves, to protective mask, disinfectant your belongings, wash your hands 20 seconds with the soap, and stay home. And Allah Hafiz. Thank you very much.